Hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by for this live stream. We are going to be doing some Reiki on this live, and then after that, we're going to do some tarot readings and some mentoring, some help with affirmations. If there's something that you are trying to manifest, then I'm going to give you whatever help I can with that. So we're going to have lots of fun here today on our live stream, and we're just going to start off with the Reiki. And so for the Reiki, I am going to set the intention for whatever will benefit each of you as individuals the most. And so let's just get that started. Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever has already done that. I appreciate that. All right, so we're starting Reiki at 40 after the hour. That means we'll be finishing up at 40 after. Mimi, welcome, welcome. I'm glad to see you in the room, my friend. Thank you, whoever's already given that second thumbs up. I appreciate that. How are things going in your world? How are your plants doing? We've already got a lot of Reiki flowing out to somebody, whether that's somebody here now or somebody that watches later, I don't know. But somebody is soaking it up like a Reiki sponge. I am doing fantastic. I had a morning of cooking today. I don't always have time to cook because usually I'm just busy doing other stuff. So I made some collard greens and I wilted some kale. Ooh, let's put your Reiki towards healing up that tooth infection. Hello there, Patricia T. Welcome back. Glad you're in the room, my dear. Whoever else just walked in, feel free to say hi, be a part of the chat, be a part of the community here. How are you today, Miss Patricia? Yes, ma'am. Later on, I'm going to try a quiche. I bought some meat because it was super cheap at the grocery store like months and months ago, and the first time I tried it, it was so spicy. I was like, oh, that hurts. So I thought today, I've been thinking, what could I do with that? Because I don't want to throw away perfectly good food. So I'm going to put it into a quiche with a whole lot of cheese, and I'm hoping that'll tone down some of that spiciness. AP, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Everybody, thanks for the thumbs ups. Also, guys, remember to share this video so that I can help other people too. There's a lot of people out there that could use some Reiki. And there's a lot of people that could use a good tarot reader. And a question answered here and there. I'm glad to hear that you are doing well. Woot woot. Me too. Alive and breathing is always a good thing here on the planet. All kinds of options if we're here on the planet, eh? We can do so much with ourselves if we're still taking up space. Let's see, 2 more minutes left on the Reiki. I can't tell who actually likes videos. I can see the like count whenever it happens. And then afterwards, if I go back, I can see that on the videos, but I don't ever have names attached to that. I can see when people comment on the video, I can see that. In fact, I go in and put hearts on all the comments every chance that I get, just so people know that I've seen them and that I appreciate them. We have snow here where I am. I'm in the foothills of the Rockies in Colorado. It started about 10. I guess it's supposed to go until 2 a.m. It's already pretty treacherous on the road up here, so I'm very glad I don't have to drive anywhere today. I just get to look out the windows and see how beautiful it is on the trees. Patricia, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's very kind. That is very kind. That's the kind of stuff that gets the videos on the channel shown to more people. All those likes and all those comments, all those shares, they all count. They all add up. To whoever else just walked in the room that I haven't greeted yet, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Feel free to say hi, participate in the chat, be a part of the community. We have a little tribe of people here that is ever growing. We like our tribe. Okay, that's 5 minutes of Reiki. Let me go ahead and wrap that up. I appreciate that. I have seen some of your comments. I see all the comments. I used to have it set to where I had to actually approve the comments for them to show up under the videos, so I would look at all of them. I still look at all of them, but now I just let the system automatically hold anything that might be scamalicious. Okay, guys. So the Reiki is complete. If you guys want a message from Spirit, just write the word Spirit in the chat and throw it up there. If you want help building an affirmation, write the word affirmation and throw that in the chat, and then tell me what you want us to build your affirmation around. You know, like, are you looking for a job? Do you want to be more healthy? Whatever that might be. And then if you have a specific question, you don't have to say question. You can just throw your specific question right up in the chat box. And I am going to be picking people at random to see who I help today. Ba-da-da-da. Those of you who haven't been in on a live stream for a while, you may want to go to the description box and see exactly what is going on here so you know the rules of play. Excuse me. We have a specific question and the message. I'm clearing you guys' cards right now. I know you can't see them on the camera. I'm sure you can hear them hitting the table though, so that's what we're doing. Getting the cards prepped to do some work so they know, hey, they're on duty right now. Today what I'm going to be using is Old School Rider-Waite. Old School Rider-Waite. I still haven't heard from Helen Bazo yet to see what she wanted to choose for her prize. Maybe she'll come in today and we'll get to talk to her. That's a perfectly good piece of paper. That's not scrap. Okay. Shannon Willow, welcome, welcome. We already are finished with the Reiki today, Shannon. You don't get to feel high unless you scroll backwards later on. All right, so let me go ahead and get my list started. Patricia T, we have a question. And then who was next? Mimi, message from Spirit. And then who else do we have? Shannon, message from Spirit. Did you have it on? Were you listening to it? Or did you just see the notice and you were like, I'm receiving that, baby? Nikki, what would you like today, honey? Help with an affirmation, message from Spirit, or do you have a question? Everybody, don't forget to put a thumbs up on this video. Also share it with others so I can be beneficial to more and more people. Okay, you want a general reading? We're getting you a message from Spirit because a general reading is not one of the options. Okay, so one of the options is affirmation, message from Spirit, or a specific question. So anybody who says general from now on, I'm just putting automatically to message from Spirit. This is my channel. I get to make the rules, guys. Isn't that wonderful how that is? Reiki's not limited by time or space. You knew it was going on. You were receptive and you were pulling it. And I'm telling you, man, somebody was pulling like a Reiki sponge. So I wouldn't be surprised if part of what I was feeling was you. Because somebody was pulling it all over their body. All right. So Patricia T had a question. We're going to start with her. Patricia T. Is it a good idea for Patricia T to start this stage of the project on her own? Is it a good idea for her to do this on her own? La da 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 da. La da da da. La da 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 da. You could do it on your own, and I think you know that. Like, you're capable of doing this on your own, definitely. But I think Spirit is advising that it is good to bring some balance into the situation, which to me says open this up to more people or open this up to the public. So you could do it if you wanted to like this. But I think you're opening it up would actually be more balanced for you. So here's the cards that I have coming up. Here are, I should say. So you start off with the Four of Wands. Okay, this talks about home and family. King of Wands. I think this talks about you taking action that's outside the box, that is original and unique, and makes you feel inspired. Six of Wands talks about you would be very victorious in this. People would appreciate what you do. Followed by the King of Cups in reverse. Although there's somebody not going to be very happy. Somebody's going to be actually kind of mad at you for doing that. And the Temperance card showing up, which talks about bringing in that balance. Okay. So, it's interesting. I think that you could do this on your own, and you would be very successful if you did this on your own with that Six of Wands showing up in the middle. All right, you could handle it. No big deal. And I think you know this, like I said earlier. You do have somebody that's going to be angry at you for doing this on your own. I think that this is somebody who cares a great deal about you, the way that they show up. But the thing is that I think that they feel like you are putting so much energy and effort towards this that they're actually worried about you and the toll that it takes on you. And so I think if you do this on your own, you're going to hear some backlash from that person. And when you hear backlash from that person, I think then you're going to start to try to make this into a more balanced situation. In other words, open it up to getting more help with it. So this is really a tie for me on the technicals. This is a tie. You could open it up to the public right now if you wanted to. If you did it on your own, you'd be perfectly successful. You'd just make somebody very upset and you'd have to open it up later on anyway. Okay? So I hope that helps you to make your decision. Hello there, Val. Thank you for that gift, by the way. Let's see. How old is your nephew? Will Val hear from the nephew that she's thinking of? 39. Okay. Let's define soon. Within the next 2 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 years, 2 decades. What is soon for you? By Valentine's Day? What are we talking about here, anybody? Okay. Will Val hear from the nephew that she has in mind by the time 7 days have passed from now? Quite welcome, Patricia T. I don't think Spirit's going to tell you. I think you've got a very human person telling you. Very human person telling you. Okay, Val, I'm not sure what the situation is with your nephew, but I'm going to say I don't think you're going to hear from him by the time 7 days go by. I do think you'll hear from him after that, but I don't think in the time frame that we asked, okay? Let's see, Shakoya, hello. Let's go through these cards, Val. We've got the Devil showing up in reverse. Queen of Wands in reverse. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Hanged Man. King of Pentacles. Okay, so your nephew's 37. Context here. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you is around this situation with your nephew, there is something going on where he's really having to face some type of fear having to do with somebody who could be female but doesn't have to be. This is somebody who is into guys as far as for romantic partners, okay? So that's not always a female. So anyway, this person, their personality would normally be very sunny, sunshiny and outgoing, very happy-go-lucky, kind of can do anything, has a great can-do attitude. But right now, that person is exactly the opposite. They're kind of closed off, quiet, cold, not reaching out, not encouraging, not uplifting, not sunshiny, kind of the opposite of that, kind of like a cloudy day. All right, and this can be a person that is just not in the mood to or willing to move forward with anything. They're not willing to think outside the box to find any kind of solution, anything like that. And we've got this person is not collaborating with your nephew like your nephew thought that this person would. Okay, so this could be a business partnership. It could be some type of romantic interest. But there's something going on here where somebody has seriously let your nephew down, okay? And this is something that is causing some big problems for your nephew emotionally and mentally right now, okay? Now we show up with the Hanged Man for the fourth card here. That tells me that he's taking some time to really look at the situation, think things over, try to figure out what he's going to do about this. And really, what sign are you, Val? Because I was thinking more along the lines of like a girlfriend or something like that. But this could be this type of relationship where you guys were really close. This could be you as well. So knowing what's predominant in your chart will help me to know if that's you or if that's about this girl. Anyway, he is taking some time to really kind of think this situation over and sort out how he wants to move forward with this, because right now he really doesn't know the best way to handle this situation. And then we do show him coming up later on. His soon-to-be ex is a Leo and you're a Scorpio. Okay, so then this is going to be about the lady he's divorcing. Okay, that has really, it's thrown him for a loop. And it's interesting because it doesn't come up as divorce. She may be saying, I'm not going to go along with this divorce. Okay. She may be saying, I'm not going to make things easy here. Where before, maybe he thought that they could have an amicable divorce and things could go fairly smoothly and fairly quickly. She may be saying, wrong answer. Okay. So anyway, he's trying to figure out what to do about all of that. I do show him up here ending up as the King of Pentacles, which would make sense with him being a Virgo. So King of Pentacles is somebody who he's going to come out of this very grounded and definitely with a plan about how he's going to move forward and what he's going to do about this whole situation with his wife right now. But yeah, I don't see, that's kind of what he's going through right now. These cards, for me, this is a no. Okay. But with that Hanged Man showing up, this tells me that you will hear from him again. It just won't be by the end of this week. I think you're probably going to be looking at more like, yeah, I think it's going to be 3 weeks before you actually hear from him. She's the one who wants it, and she's already engaged to somebody else. She's not going to make it easy. She's not going to make it amicable. So she's probably going to be going for money, is what I'm guessing. More money than he wants to give her. That's what I'm guessing. All right. Thank you for that gift, Ms. Bell. Mimi, you're up next with a message from Spirit. You're quite welcome. Mimi. I hope you're still in the room, Mimi. Okay, so message from Spirit for Ms. Mimi. I'm still going to be here for 37 more minutes. Okay, Mimi, let's look at your situation. Thank you. After Mimi is going to be Shannon and then Nikki. Okay, so Mimi, message from Spirit. The situation I have showing up for you is the Page of Pentacles, covered by 7 of Wands. This is interesting. So Page of Pentacles for me is talking about some type of good news about money or about material goods, but either way, it's good news. It's the news we like to hear. 7 of Wands talks about holding our own. Okay, so this could be that you have, it's an interesting combination. This could be that you have some money out there that is working for you, some money out there creating money invested in some way. And you are very proactively making sure that it makes the money that you need it to make. Okay. So this could be, and I'm just giving an example just to kind of get you in the mindset of what we're looking for here. This could be, let's say that you have some rental properties and you've got them signed on with a property management company. This could be making sure that that property management company is doing what they need to do to keep these leased up, or that, like, if there's turnover, that they're getting in and they're getting the maintenance done fast so that they can get more people in more quickly. You know, just making sure that your good news about money stays good news about money. All right. Your money is better. That I know with the Page of Pentacles. The Seven of Wands covering the Page of Pentacles says that you are making sure it stays better. Okay? You're making sure you get that good news about money. All right? Now, let's look at best advice around this situation. Okay? Best advice. Four of Cups showing up. That's interesting for advice. Ace of Pentacles. That's good. I like that. And the Queen of Swords. I like that as well. I don't remember what sign you are, but I know what the Queen of Swords means you're doing. So with this Four of Cups, this is basically a heads up from Spirit that there is something either that has happened that's been disappointing or that's coming up shortly that is disappointing. So Four of Cups is my pity party card. So it does acknowledge that there's some type of disappointment. Otherwise, we wouldn't want to have a pity party, right? Ideally, if we're mentally okay, you know. So I never advise when we see this card to have a pity party. So when we have the Four of Cups coming up in the advice position, this is not advice to have a pity party, but it is a heads up that you may feel pretty soon, if you haven't already gone through this, like having a pity party, okay? Capricorn rising, Scorpio. Capricorn sun and Scorpio rising. Okay, so then this is talking about action to take, not so much about your normal personality. Okay, anyway. Don't be having any pity party, even though it's going to be tempting. Spirit is basically saying that it's going to be tempting. And if the energy doesn't change, you're going to have a pity party. So it's going to be up to you when you feel that energy coming in to go ahead and turn that around. Okay? Start finding things to be appreciative of instead of soaking in that disappointment. Okay? That's what allows us to actually see the opportunities that remain even after the disappointments. All right? Now, it's interesting that that's how I see that Four of Cups as let's look for the opportunities. Let's not cave to that pity party energy, because right behind that is the Ace of Pentacles, which does talk about an opportunity that comes up. Okay, so if we're not sitting in pity party, we can see that opportunity more soon, or we can generate it more quickly. So you do have an opportunity that's going to be showing up. And then the advice here with that Queen of Swords following just says, look at that opportunity very logically. You don't want to get emotions involved in that opportunity, but you want to look at it like a businesswoman. For me, the Queen of Swords is that woman who is putting her business hat on, you know? You ever heard of, some people wear a lot of different hats. This is thinking about things in a very business-like way. This is what we do whenever we are running a household. We're thinking about things in a very business-like way. When we're running a business, we are making sure that we're making decisions that make sense. It's not the same as being a mom. When you're being a mom, you're doing things from the heart that, they're like killing your wallet. If being a mom was a business, the poor kids would never make it. But the Queen of Swords just talks about really handling this opportunity in a very business-like fashion. Okay. All right. So that's Mimi. Who's next? Next is Shannon. Shannon, are you still in the room? Guys, thank you for sharing this video with others. Thank you for the thumbs ups. Those of you who are just walking into the room now, you may want to check the description box below so you can see what's happening in the room, and then put in the chat box whatever it is you would like me to help you with. You're quite welcome, Miss Mimi. All right, Miss Shannon, here we go. Message from Spirit for Shannon. Nikki, you're up after Shannon. Still going to be here 31 minutes after this. Ms. Shannon. Message from Spirit for Shannon. Jeez, okay. You have 2 major arcanas, 2 2s, and a 3 on the board. 2s for me talk about decisions. Major arcana talks about stuff that generally goes longer over time. We got some big stuff happening in your world, Miss Shannon. Okay, let's look at your situation. Strength card comes out first. And I'm hearing you say I can do anything whenever I feel into that card. And then we've got the 2 of Swords. Is that the 2 of Swords? Yep. So this is decision. So basically, this is a decision that you're making based on your strength, okay? Based on your high self-confidence, your high self-esteem. Not as in arrogance, but as in not low self-confidence or low self-esteem, but self-esteem and self-confidence that is very much aware of who you are in the universe, what you're here to do, and how Source regards you, okay? And your own capabilities. So you are making a decision based on self-awareness, basically, is what I want to say. Knowledge of who you are in the universe. That's our situation that we have coming up here. Okay, guys? And I forgot to say, guys, let's see, Spirit does do piggyback messages. So if you start noticing that something is resonating for you, then go ahead and take that message that's resonating for you and apply it to your life in a good, productive way. If, however, it's not resonating, please don't try to stretch it, scrunch it, stomp on it, twist it, turn it, flip it, or otherwise try to make it your message. Just acknowledge that that's not for you and let whoever needs to hear it, hear it. Okay? Shannon, best advice. 2 of Cups showing up in reverse. The Hierophant. And 3 of Cups. Alrighty, so Shannon, with this 2 of Cups, this tells me that there's something going on that you're not very attracted to, all right? And with the Hierophant right behind it, this tells me this is some type of long-term contract or commitment. Every once in a while, this can be a marriage. This can also be a contract or commitment for some type of employment or job if you're an independent contractor. This could even be like signing a mortgage, long-term contract or commitment. So you kind of have your head in what I'm looking at here. So some type of long-term contract or commitment that you're looking at and you're thinking, you know, I'm not so sure I like this. You're not very attracted to it. It doesn't feel like it's the right thing for you. Okay? And basically what we have here is that this is a good time to recognize that and acknowledge that, instead of shooting yourself to death. I should take that long-term contract or commitment. I should commit to that. I should stay in this if I'm already in this. You know, maybe you've got a job that pays super well and you're in the velvet handcuffs. Well, I know it's not a job. You just got a new job that you really, really like. Or maybe it's another job that's even, looks like it would pay better. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but some type of long-term contract or commitment, you're not so thrilled about it. This is basically saying, with this ending up with the 3 of Cups, this is saying a couple of things. This is saying, first of all, follow your happiness. Secondly, look to your social network. Okay? Look to your social network, because I'm feeling like with this coming up after this contract or commitment that you're not really drawn to, this is saying that there's somebody in your social network who's going to have some type of solution or opportunity for you or insight for you that's going to help you to figure out what direction you do want to go. Because it's obvious that there's a direction right in front of you that you don't want to go. Okay? So you want to look at your people, your family members, your tribe members, your people that you respect, that could be your mentor in whatever area this is for you, and really talk to them about that and come up with what would be a good direction to go, since this obviously is not. That's your advice. Okay. Teresa White. Origin and relief. I will tell you that I'm not a medical professional. I'll help you with a little bit that I know, but please don't substitute me for a medical professional, because that would be a very bad idea. Okay. What type of contract or commitment are we talking about? I know you just started a job. If you feel like saying, you don't have to say here, because that could be very private. But I'm curious. That whole inquiring minds thing. You're quite welcome. Okay, so Nikki is up next. And then after that will be Teresa White. Guys, don't forget to share this video so other people can benefit as well. Don't forget about piggyback messages also. Glad you're still here. Okay, good. I'm glad, Teresa. Shakoya, message from Spirit. Okay, let's put you on the list right now. La, da, 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 da. All right. Nikki, message from Spirit. Guys, thank you for all the thumbs ups on this video. Thank you for sharing this video with others. The more people I get to help, the happier I am. Those of you who would like to schedule a private reading with me, actually, I think we're going to take that. That kind of information is on my website. I do offer 1 and 2 question readings where, not everybody's around, like here in this chat room. I also offer live readings either on the phone or on Skype. Those are 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or 1 hour, depending, what you need, how many questions you have, that type of thing. Oh, very cool, Shannon. You weren't kidding when you said that you felt it already. La, da, 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 da. I wonder if you're going to end up working from home. Okay, Ms. Nikki. Wow, this 7 of Wands is popular today. This is the 2nd or 3rd time we've already seen it. Ms. Nikki. I know Mimi had it. So this is the 2nd time. Nikki, here's your situation, honey bunny. You've got the Hermit showing up, covered by the 7 of Wands. So, poor Nikki. Okay, so this just means that you're trying to get some alone time. You want to take some time to think some things through, to figure out what's important to you, what triggers you, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, maybe even deactivate some triggers. But you want to set some priorities moving forward. And you've got people around you that just don't want to let you alone. It comes across to me that they're a little bit afraid of what you might decide in your alone time, that you might decide maybe you don't want so much of them in your life. And so I feel like you're really having to be very active in setting those boundaries and maintaining those boundaries, because these people are really trying to push against you having alone time. Ooh, that's got to be really interesting. Oh, those are my favorite type of people. Not. Okay, let's look at your best advice here, Miss Nikki. Ten of Swords in reverse. I'm just going to tell you really quickly. This is my card that just, my key word, my key sentence with this card is, it ain't over, baby. You might have thought something was over, but it's not. That's your first card. Holy Toledo. Knight of Wands showing up in reverse for your second card. It just keeps getting better. Five of Swords showing up for your third card. Here is the thing. Here is this thing. I'm going to guess that this is probably a romantic situation, that somebody is trying to get back, you know, trying to not leave you alone so you can sort things out and figure things out. That's a romantic interest. If it's not a romantic interest, boy, this thing's giving me a headache just looking at it, Nikki. I don't know how you're living with it. It looks to me like your fight to maintain boundaries and to get some space for yourself, that's not over. Like, that's a constant, continuous struggle. This person is just like trying to hit the wall with a battering ram all the time. All right. Here's the thing that you need to know, though. This person, with him coming up as their, or her, either way, coming up as the Knight of Wands in reverse. This is, yeah, well, and I can see why. Because this person is somebody who is very flighty. Like, as long as you're a challenge, they're very interested. As soon as you cave in to whatever it is that they want, they're bored now. What's the next nice, bright, shiny thing that they can go pursue and make into a conquest? No wonder you don't want to talk to them. No wonder you want to be alone. Okay? So then we have the Five of Swords showing up in the end. Five of Swords is conflict or dispute. I think that the only way that you actually get this person to leave you alone is to have that dispute, to really just take the bull by the horns and say, listen, I don't want to hear from you. I'm not going to do this that you want me to. I don't want to participate in whatever your game is. It's time for you to go away. Okay? So that's the only way that you get to shut this down. You ignoring this person is not going to shut it down. They're going to keep coming at you. You have to be very clear with them. You may even have to tell them, look, if you keep contacting me, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to tell them that you're harassing me. It's interesting that the advice doesn't have my Queen of Swords in reverse, because my Queen of Swords in reverse is my cut them off. That would be, you can't contact me through Facebook Messenger. You can't contact me through Snapchat. You can't contact me through text message. You can't contact me through phone calls. You can't contact me through friends. Done. That did not come up here. So that tells me that even if you were to try to cut this person out, they would still worm around. They would send you a snail mail letter, or they would show up on your doorstep or whatever. You're going to have to take the bull by the horns and confront this person and say, no more. I am not going to do what you want me to do. Give it up. Go somewhere else. All right. That was Ms. Nikki. Let's see. Okay. I hope I'm saying your name right. Avantika. Avantika is going to be next. Yeah, I see that. Thank you. Sure, throw your question up in the chat box for me, honey. And then after Avantika, next person on the list is Teresa, and then after that, Shakoya. And I'm going to be here 16 more minutes. So that's assuming I'm still here for all of that. You're quite welcome, Nikki. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Show me how things will be if Avantika accepts Ashwani's love and marries him. Show me what she needs to know about how that marriage and relationship would go if she would marry him. I'm going to look at from his viewpoint on the left, from your viewpoint on the right, and then we're going to look at the relationship in the middle. Him, her. Show me what this relationship will be like, please. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Well, you're not married to him right now. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Just waiting for your response. I just want to confirm that you guys are not married right now before I tell you what's on the table. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you asked me before you got married. Every once in a while, people will get married and then ask me a question like this, and it's like, that's not awkward at all. Okay. You have 6 or 7 months to make a decision. All right. Let me show you. Let me show you this. Okay. This is from his perspective. Okay. So the cards from his perspective on this marriage and this relationship. We have a Knight of Cups showing up in reverse, which is a red flag for me right off the bat, but not in all cultures. So maybe that's not a red flag for you guys. I don't know. 3 of Pentacles. And the 10 of Wands. So those are both really good cards. So when we look at his perspective, with our Knight of Cups in reverse, he's not in love with you. Okay? Now for me, that would probably be a problem. Okay? But sometimes there are certain cultures that don't marry for love. So, okay, maybe it's not a problem. I don't know. Now, the other cards, though, are really great. The 3 of Pentacles talks about building something together, collaborating, working together. So he is ready to put the energy and the effort into working together and building a life together with you. We like that a lot. With the 10 of Wands, he is, okay, that makes sense. With the 10 of Wands, he is definitely willing to be the responsible person with this. So this really tells me, he wants to take responsibility for the things in a marriage that would be traditional responsibilities. He knows that this is a responsibility and he's willing to take it. So for him, I don't think that there's any real love in this, but he takes this commitment really seriously. And even without there being real love involved in it, as far as romantic love, like not in love, I'm sure that when you're with somebody for a long time, you love them, whether you're in love with them or not. He's really willing to put in the energy and the effort to make this thing work. Okay, so we definitely like that. Gotcha. Yeah, I know how that works. I have a regular client who has an arranged marriage, and it's working out actually pretty well. Well, let's look at the whole rest of this spread, okay? Because I'm going to answer one question for you, and that's going to be how this is going to go. All right. So what you're actually looking at with more questions, you're telling me really that you need a full-on reading. And if you want to order a full-on reading with me, you can check out my website and see how to do that. But I am going to answer this one question for you, and it'll tell you a lot. So we're looking next at your perspective on this marriage and relationship should you decide to marry him. Okay. We start off with the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Page of Cups. And we have the Sun. Okay. Nine of Pentacles scares me a little bit when I'm looking at a marriage, because the Nine of Pentacles is my independent woman card. This is usually my single woman who is out doing the career, making the money. So this is interesting that it comes up in a marriage spread. All right. This tells me that you feel like you're alone in this marriage, and that may be because there's not that much love coming from his side. He's just doing all the responsibility type stuff. Okay. But I do feel like you still have the freedom, even in the marriage, to do your own thing professionally. I don't feel like you're in a situation where you have to stay at home just because you're married. You're still out there doing what you love professionally. With that Nine of Pentacles, for me, it's not only self-sufficient and independent, but it's also feeling very fulfilled and satisfied by what you're doing to bring income in. So I think you're still bringing income in once you're married. I think that you're enjoying that career or that job that you have at that point. And I see you being fairly happy here. But I also see this whole sense of independence, which is unusual to see in a marriage. This is definitely a hold on loosely type of marriage situation. Okay. With this Page of Cups showing up, then this just means that you do have some romantic feelings for him in the marriage. And with the Sun coming up behind that, I think that you're actually pretty happy with this arrangement. Okay. I think you're fairly happy with this arrangement. All right. Now, very happy, actually. The Sun is a really good, happy card. Here's what we have showing up, though, as far as the marriage and relationship. We've got Temperance coming up in reverse. We've got the Lovers showing up in reverse. And we've got the Judgment card showing up in reverse. La, da, da, da. With Temperance in reverse, this is telling me that things are not balanced in this relationship. There's one person putting more energy and effort into the relationship than the other. And I'm having a hard time figuring out who's putting in more. He seems to be ready, willing, and able to take on responsibilities. At the same time, you're still out there doing your own thing as far as career-wise. It may be that he's actually putting more into the relationship than what you are, because you're more focused on your career, where he's more focused on, he wants the full enchilada. He wants the career, the family, everything. So he may actually be putting more into this relationship than you, from what I'm seeing here. Next, we have the Lovers card showing up in reverse. This is basically telling me that you guys have some differences that it's really hard to get around as far as worldviews and what you expect from this relationship. Okay? So what I would advise before you make up your mind, because you've got 6 or 7 months to do this, and you can change what we see on the table, through free will. Now you've got the heads up, you can make some changes. I would advise talking to him about what he's expecting from this relationship, what he is expecting to bring to the table, what he's expecting you to bring to the table. I would also talk to him about the idea of how do you want to raise the kids, like what kind of religious training do we want to give them? Do we want to give them any? You know, spanking, not to spank, all those topics. Because otherwise, once you guys get married, you end up in this quandary where you can't see eye to eye because you haven't really talked things over to know where each of the other comes from on some important subjects. And when you hit that point where you can't see eye to eye, you know, sometimes that can be overcome. And it can definitely be prevented if you're talking to somebody ahead of time and you see where those issues are. You guys can figure out some type of middle ground, or you can realize this may not be the best match. Thank you, friends and family, but let's look for somebody else. You know, so you want to head off these types of problems one way or the other. Now, if you don't head them off before the marriage, I think if you wait until after the marriage to let these types of things come up, then we've got a problem. Because having that Judgment card in reverse, right behind the Lovers in reverse, says that nothing is going to change. Like you guys you're going to talk about it. You're going to realize you're not on the same page, but there's not going to be any give coming from either side. Neither one of you are going to want to negotiate or compromise here. You're both just going to want the other one to go along with it just the way it is. And with that Judgment card in reverse, I think that this will end up in a divorce if you don't get these things talked about ahead of time and get this type of stuff that's big and important on the table so you can figure it out. You know, also not just kids, but also about resources. You know, what do you want to do with budget? Are you somebody who just spends as soon as you make it? Are we making plans for retirement? You know, those types of things especially, I think, are going to be important to talk about too before you make your decision, to make sure you guys are on the same page so you won't come to these types of impasses. Good. I would say really talk about them. See if there are things that you can negotiate on. And if they're not, you know, there may be somebody out there who's a better fit for you. Because once you get into this marriage, there won't be any more negotiation. And that's not very happiness making. All right, so I've got 2 more minutes. Who is next? Let's see. Next is Teresa White, who had a question. Thank you, Avantika. I appreciate that. Let's see. Let me see if I can find Teresa, are you still in the room? Let's see. Guidance regarding origin and relief of chronic debilitating migraines. I'm going to look at the cards and see if I can get some ideas on origin for you, Teresa. If you're still in the room, yes. Okay. But I do think, you know, there's a lot of where that could come from. How old are you? And then I do have some ideas about migraines that I know from a lady who used to suffer from those a lot. And of course, also as a Reiki master, I have ideas about those. I bet you can guess what that might be. So first of all, I'm going to go with what I know right off the top of my head. 61. Okay, so you're past when you should be going through like midlife change or whatever we call it. Isn't it men have midlife crisis and then we have life change or something? I don't know. Anyways, you're past when that should still be happening because those hormone fluctuations definitely can cause migraines. So So my friend who used to have migraines a lot did her own kind of experimentation and research with them. And she used to find that if she applied pressure to the back of her head, like right here, I don't know if you can even see that right there, then that helped with the migraines. And then also if she put a cold pack over her forehead. And so what she did, she was a really creative person. She probably could have been an engineer, but she wasn't. So what she did is she would take a bandana and she would wrap it really tightly around her head. And inside the folds of the front of the bandana, she would put like, a Ziploc bag with some ice cubes in there or some crushed ice in there, but something cold in that to help. And she would wear her bandana like that. I mean, it's, it's not like taking a pill because people can't see that you've taken a pill. It's a kind of obvious type of solution, but it seemed to help her a lot. And hers were pretty debilitating if she didn't do that. Now let's look. Of course, Reiki. Reiki can heal anything and everything. I've seen some pretty amazing stuff with Reiki. The thing is, if you've been having these headaches for a long time, which, yes, that's what you said, or since the hysterectomy, that tells me it's probably hormonal related. So I would say Reiki would be something that you would want to look into. And I will tell you that Reiki it works really fast on something that happened really fast. So say you're in a car accident and you've got a broken collarbone or, a spinal cord situation or, some other broken bone or, perforation in the lungs or the kidneys or something like that. If it happened really fast, the Reiki can help you really fast with 1 or 2, maybe 3 sessions, usually 1 session. Because the Reiki goes in and it dissolves the roots of the problem at a spiritual level. When something happens really fast and we get to it really fast with the Reiki, then those roots haven't had a whole lot of time to grow, so they can be dissolved more quickly. If we've got something that's been going on that we would consider more chronic, that's been building for a while, well, those roots have been growing for a while. And so for that, we would expect that we need persistent and consistent Reiki to get us back into a good spot again, because it's going to take a little while to dissolve all those roots. Okay. So something that you've had for a while, I would say that you would want to have Reiki consistently and persistently. And I would recommend getting Reiki candles to help you with that. And I do offer Reiki candles I started offering them for people that have things like MS, ALS, diabetes, things that are chronic that, the doctors don't have cures for, they're just under control. And, things that people have for a while, they build for a while. And a lot of times people that have things like this, sometimes they're on disability, they have fixed income, they can't afford a Reiki session, every day. And so the candles, what I do is I light them here. I send you a picture of the candle so that you know that it's lit. You're getting the energy from a Reiki session just as if you were actually having a Reiki session, only it's coming to you more slowly because it's coming to you as long as that candle's burning, which is about 4.5 hours. So it's a more subtle impact on you as it's coming at you. You're getting the same amount as what you would get in an hour session, but it's just being spread out over more time. And that allows you to go ahead and go on with your life instead of just sitting still for the hour. You don't sit still for the 4.5 hours. You do your thing. But you just allow that Reiki to flow in. And for those, I make those a lot more affordable than the Reiki sessions because I want people to be able to get them every day who need Reiki every day. So you may want to, just give me a call and see, so we can talk, just to each other instead of in this public format about what I think it could do for you and how long I think it would take and all that kind of stuff. But definitely you would want to check that out as far as help for it. Okay. And if you know Reiki, obviously you want to do Reiki for yourself. So let's look into origin. Origin. Best Shay, I've already been here an hour, honey, so I'm not going to answer any more questions. But if you want to have a chance to ask me a question again, then what you want to do is you want to subscribe to the channel and hit the alerts bell so that you know the next time I go live, okay? You're quite welcome. My contact information is on my website, which is in the description box below this video and any of my other videos. So just get a hold of me and we can get those going for you. All right, Origin. Okay, so this is going to be really general. I do think that we probably are looking at something that has to do with your hormones. Let me just go through the cards and I'll tell you what I'm thinking that they mean. And you know, let me remind you, I don't normally do health readings at all because I feel like that's what doctors are for. But when doctors don't have answers, got to do what you got to do, right? All right, so 5 of Wands showing up first. 9 of Pentacles in reverse. 4 of Cups in reverse. Ace of Wands in reverse. 10 of Cups right side up. All right, so here's the thing. With this 5 of Wands, to me, that's telling me that there's some kind of chaos or disharmony in the body. And for me, whenever I think about good healing and good health, I think about the idea that all of our cells are working together in complete harmony. You know, all of our hormones, all of the little critters that live inside of our intestines, all of everything, all working together in good harmony. So with the 5 of Wands, for me, representing chaos, it just means, you know, not everything's working in good harmony. It's basically a verification that, yes, we are talking about things that are not working together properly in your body. With the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, to me, this talks about, normally this would talk about missing somebody or feeling like we don't have enough money or enough energy. And so this really is saying that there's something missing in the body. There's something that has been depleted. And that could very well be a hormone. I know that I deal with headaches. I deal with headaches I used to deal with headaches as my hormones would change for the monthly cycle. I would always get a raging migraine right before I started. And then sometimes even after, but it was as those hormones were fluctuating. To me, this is saying that there's something that is low in your system that is causing this. Okay. And like I said, I really believe we're looking at a hormone situation here. Now, 4 of Cups in reverse. To me, this is looking at other opportunities. This is, yes, there's a disappointment, but we're looking at other opportunities. So this tells me that your body is trying to compensate. Your body has recognized that, yes, there's something that is depleted or is lower than what it needs to be. So your body is saying, okay, well, what can we do to prop that up? Okay. Now, with the Ace of Wands in reverse, this is telling me, really, this talks to me about inspired ideas, energy. And this basically says that even though your body is trying to prop you up and compensate for whatever is low in your body, it is not able. It simply isn't able. It doesn't have enough of whatever it wants to compensate with. Okay, so if you were able to figure out what it is that you're low on, it may be that by changing your diet, you would be able to help your body to prop that up. Okay. Now, with the 10 of Cups in the end here, right after my Ace of Wands in reverse, this is just really coming together to say your body just doesn't have enough of whatever it needs to prop this up to make you happy. And when we're happy, how do we feel? We feel healthy. We feel like everything is functioning correctly. All right. So I would say definitely we would want to do some Reiki. I would also say you want to look into what hormones could be low that would cause headaches. And you also want to, and I think the whole hysterectomy piece is a big clue. I think we're talking about some type of feminine hormone that would be created more when all of our body parts are intact and in place. So I think that's a huge clue for you there. And then you want to find out what you can do to compensate for that, and compensate in a way that, you know, doesn't return you to youthful cycles, which I have heard you can have, even if you have a hysterectomy, that your body can still go through those cycles. But yeah, okay. So that's what I've got for you. Like I said, I am not a doctor. So you wouldn't want to take this like it was coming from a doctor. You would just want to take it as hints and with a grain of salt. Okay. And then definitely let's talk about Reiki. Yep. Yep. And I will tell you too, a lot of times Reiki will give you good ideas about things that you can do to make things better. Sometimes it'll actually just improve things energetically just all on its own. But sometimes it does give you those ideas as well. Sometimes it puts us in touch with the people who have the right ideas. Aw, thank you, Shannon. A food allergy test would never be a bad thing when we're having something like that go on with our body. And even, I mean, you don't even necessarily have to have the test if you just kind of eliminate things one by one and then bring them back in and see what happens. That's always a good thing to do as well. All right. I've been here for over an hour, guys. It's time for me to take off. Let me make sure nobody sent me any more money because I don't want to leave anybody out if they did. No more. Okay. All right. So it's time for me to take off. Thank you guys very much. Those of you that I didn't get to, if you have a question that you really want me to look at, check out my one question reading on my website. Otherwise, just try and catch me the next time I go live. And thank you guys very much for being here and for all your support for me. It is because of all of you guys that I get to do what I love to do for my living. So sincerely, thank you. And everybody have a fantastic weekend. Peace out.